the right to privacy of election candidates. Now, there was an electoral candidate who is an independent MLA from Arunachal Pradesh. He was having assets, a scooty, a van, which he sold, and he got elected in 2019 as an MLA. He did not declare those assets, and the matter went to the Guwahati High Court. The Guwahati High Court said that you had to declare those assets, so now your membership is going to be cancelled. The matter came to Supreme Court. Supreme Court said, since you sold those assets, it does not matter, and you don't have to reveal every detail of yours to the public. You have to only reveal those details which are relevant. The right to privacy of you people are intact. And that is a landmark judgment in this particular domain, where right to privacy of elected candidates or election candidates is restored by the judiciary. So let's get to this and see. The Supreme Court on Tuesday held that an election candidate has a right to privacy from voters and need not lay out every scrap of his or her personal life and possessions, past and present, for the electorate to examine with a magnifying glass. However, this does not mean that these election candidates can hide any information. They have to reveal substantial information which can impact the behavior of the electorate in terms of voting. So this needs to be taken care of. Now the judgment. There were two judges. First was Justice Anirudh Bose and second was Justice Sanjay Kumar. They said a candidate's choice to retain his privacy on matters which were of no concern to the voters. Like in that case, the voters would not have been impacted by a scooty or a van which was being used as an ambulance, and that too sold. So voters would not have been impacted, or these kind of information were irrelevant to his candidature for public office, did not amount to a corrupt practice under Section 123 of Representation of People's Act. So this disclosure of the assets and all have to be done according to the Representation of People's Act. Such non-disclosure would not amount to defect of a substantial nature. Supreme Court said this in the judgment. Earlier, this is there, that now presently it is ki if you have to declare or disclose some certain assets of yours and you don't disclose it, then non-disclosure would amount to defect of a substantial nature under Section 36(4) of the 1951 Act. But, if irrelevant, I would say, assets are there, or those kind of assets are there which will not pose any impact, so, then it will not amount to any defect. If you are having a watch worth crores of rupees, you will have to disclose that. If you are having a fleet of cars which is, luxury cars, you have to disclose that. But a scooty, that too you sold, these kind of irrelevant information can be avoided. Now, Justice Kumar, who wrote the judgment, observed there was no compulsion on a candidate to lay his life threadbare for the electorate to prod and scrutinize. So it should be the, I would say, commonsensical, I would say, nature of that candidate, that which I would say asset has to be declared, which has not to be declared. And obviously, they can take undue advantage also of this judgment, these election candidates. And this can lead to multiple litigations also in the future. Next is sizable asset disclosure has to be done, they said. So it is not necessary that a candidate declare every item of movable property that he or his dependent family members own, unless these items are of such value as to constitute a sizable asset in itself. Unfortunately, sizable's definition was not given. So this vacuum can lead to more litigations in the time to come. This is one such, I would say, drawback of this judgment or criticism of the judgment. Court said that every case would turn on its own peculiarities on what would amount to a non-disclosure of assets of a substantial nature. So again, it is going to invite more and more, I would say, litigations in the future. But yes, this is a substantial step taken by the Supreme Court, and that has to be known to you because this is election season. Now, a question over here. Consider the following statements and mark the correct one. Disclosure of assets by an election candidate is mandated by the Representation of People's Act 1950. Such non-disclosure can amount to defect of substantial nature. Now you have to be very, I would say, attentive in answering this question. It might be seeming easy, but it is not that easy. This is the biggest hint I could have given to you. So the only question on this particular topic is this.